because I got my. Okay, cool. I'm glad I started doing recording after you guys. So
no, man, let's start that over.
So you're funny, Tim. But I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to see. I know a lot of us, when we're out in the field and different things are happening, we post, just some of the experiences we have in the field and all that. And I was fortunate enough to be able to sit with a young lady earlier this week, and she had colonial pen. So I asked permission to take, pictures of it. I told her I'd cross the name out. So before we get into good news, and I'm going to share this with you guys too. I wanted to tell you guys this before I forgot. She actually didn't want to show me the policy. And I think when we started talking about, do you have anything else that acts like life insurance? She goes, well, I already have life insurance. I'm like, well, why did you ask me to come today? And she goes, well, I need more. I said, okay, that's fair. What do you need more for? So we go through the whole deal, right? We're talking about everything. And as we're going through all the stuff, what she mentioned to me was, I said, well, how much are you paying for it? And she tells me she's paying $19.90. I said, you don't have life insurance? She goes, yes, I do. I said, no, you don't. She goes, yes, I do. I said, okay, go grab your policy. Go grab your policy. Let's take a look at it. And I promise you, if you have life insurance, and what she told me was she was told, now I don't know if this to be true, but the lady was very sharp. She said that they told her she had $100,000 in coverage, because that's what she told back to me. I said, no way. I said, what do you pay for your cell phone? She said, I pay $69 a month for my cell phone. I said, how old are you? I said, I know you're never supposed to ask a lady's age. She goes, I'm 59. I said, let's stop for a second. Your cell phone is $69 a month. And you're telling me you're 59 years old and you're paying $19.90 for $100,000 worth of life insurance. Does that make sense? And she goes, that does sound kind of weird. Now, the gentleman that was there in the picture, which I'm going to show you guys just here in a second, the gentleman that was there was her pastor, because she wants to leave that she doesn't have any children. She wanted to leave that $100,000 to the church. So she wanted the pastor to be there to make sure that she understand everything that was going on, right? So before we get into good news, guys, and I just wanted to do this before I forget to do it, okay? And I'm going to show you guys another video too, because I know not all of you guys stay on until the end for whatever reason, but I wanted to show you guys this. So check this out. Here's the proof. It's Colonial Pen. Can you guys see my screen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That says Colonial Pen. Check this out. Now, I crossed her name out. You guys aren't going to tell anybody, but you can see on there, I should have made it a little bit more red, but that's okay. Her name's Miss Love. Look at the giant circle on the top right-hand side. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm telling you, we let people off the hook, and it starts with me. We let people off the hook when they say, oh yeah, I got life insurance, and they don't, or they think they do. Now, and I thank God I had enough common sense the other day to push and say, show me your policy. I ended up telling her, I'm not leaving. I got another appointment in about an hour. I said, I'm not leaving here till you show me that policy. I'm not going to leave. I'm telling you straight up. She goes and gets it. You guys can clearly see she just put this in place April 13th. So just a few months ago, $19.90. That's her monthly premium, and a non-forfeiture interest rate of 4.5%. Okay. You guys are in the business. So go down where it says death benefit amount. Can I get an amen that you guys can see where that's at from somebody?
Yeah.
All right. So check this out. It says non-accidental death benefit. Okay. First year, second year, premiums paid plus 4.5%. Keep in mind, AIG pays 10, right? Look at the third year. Full face amount after the third year, $3,464. She said, now I'm not going to step on Colonial Penn's feet, but she said they told her she had $100,000 in coverage. Here's the crazier part, you guys. If you take that $19.90, multiply it by 12, right? Because this is 2 years, so she would have had to have this, and take that by 24 months, that's $477. At 5%, that's $21. So if she would have died, they would have gotten $498 in the first 2 years. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I start looking, I got pissed. I did. And I told the pastor and I told Miss Love, I said, this is everything that's wrong with our industry. Now, I said, I'm not going to step on Colonial Penn's feet because they could have told you everything right about this policy, but you're not an insurance professional. But the fact that you thought you had $100,000, tells me that you told them you wanted $100,000. She goes, because that's what they told me I had. This is what we're up against. This makes our job real easy, right? If we push hard enough, and I thank God that I had enough sense to push hard enough to get her to protect herself, that they were at least let me be able to force her to go find that policy. Because if not, I would have been like, well, I mean, if you got $100,000 in coverage, like most of us probably do. Well, if you got $100,000 in coverage and you don't feel like you need anything else, there's nothing else I can do for you. So the moral of the story, guys, is just to push a little bit harder. Here's her approved policy. Now think about this. She's on a graded accident plan, essentially. And if she passes away today, right, God willing, she doesn't, she's now got a $20,000 benefit with the miracle that went through just like that. The lady takes no medications, no health conditions at all. That's what we do. So I was the one to be blessed to be able to help her and put her in a better situation. I was super excited about it after I got let myself calm down after what Colonial Penn did to her. So again, moral of the story is, guys, please take the time. Hold on, I'm getting a text. Somebody's trying to get in. Moral of the story is, please take the time to make sure that these people, our clients, prospective clients, people that we're trying to protect, the legacies we're protecting for their children and families, that we take the time to do that. Now, this is the last part of my good news. This is about 2.5 minutes, but it'll be worth the watch. Check this out. That's her, Miss Love, on the left-hand side, Pastor Real in the middle. Check this out.
So I'm here. It's Shoddy, right?
Shoddy.
Shoddy. What's your last name?
Garfit.
Shoddy Garfit?
Garfit.
Garfit. Shoddy Garfit. So I'm in a meeting in Jacksonville. Came from Philly, came to Jacksonville to do a meet and greet. Ramon Santana's got the food set up. It's like it's an event here, okay? And I walk in the room and I'm like, how much you sell last month? To Shoddy. I figure he'd tell me 30, 40. I know he's good. 30, 40. How much you sell last month? Person?
92,000.
92,000. Okay. Person. How much have you sold so far in July?
In July, about 67,000.
67,000 paid. And the magic here is Shoddy understands. I said, what happened when you first started the business? He's like, I went and bought myself some leads. Go and bought a couple $1,000 in leads. Like, I understood that these people needed help. I knew I could make money. So you've been with us since October.
October 1st.
October 1st. What are you going to make this year in income?
My goal is to hit $1 million.
$1 million in his first year. He's got 12 writing agents. Sorry, some background noise, but for those of you who hear background noise, you do hear it. They're clapping. Now, people are like, I can't hear the background noise. We know our audio deficiencies sometimes. We're doing the best that we can. Shoddy, what would you say to everybody that's out there trying to sell?
I would say that this is possible. Anybody can do it. The one thing I would say is don't be afraid to invest. A lot of people are afraid to invest into their business. This is your business. He who says I can and he who says I can, they both are right. So if you cannot do it, then it's not for you.
Clients all want insurance pretty much when you call them up?
Yes, sir. They all want insurance. They all fill the form out. So you have 15 different questions in there. So there's no way it's it's just fake lead. It's not. It's people who want insurance. It's not somebody who wants a gift card. So
we got to get you come down to Boca, the corporate office, and do some podcasts.
Yeah,
you're
definitely.
Thank you. Unbelievable. You excited?
Definitely. Very excited.
When are you gonna get $1 million a month with your team?
Hopefully soon. Now we have we're hiring like crazy now. So we hired over 62 people to have 12 riders in 1 month. Okay. So we're going.
You've been here 10 years from Israel.
10 years from Israel.
Yeah, building a business. Guys, anybody, I promise you, can anybody issue 40, 50 grand a month?
Yes.
Anybody can do it.
One thing I would say is, like I said that a minute ago, I'm from Israel with an accent and a lisp and still book 30 appointments. If I can do it, you definitely can do it. So
that's great. I love it. And that's the thing. It's getting out there, getting your leads, runs 40 appointments a week. Knows he has to have the activity. So I appreciate it. Hey, thank you. Thanks for everything, man. I appreciate you more.
Now, I tell you what, let me take this off of here. I'm not going to say, I was going to use a Timism, but I won't. But if you can't watch that and get excited, the guy has a lisp and from another country and is absolutely killing it. So again, anybody can do it. They put the time, the effort, and the energy into it, right? So that's my good news. So now I'm going to swing around to our leadership and see any good news they have to share. Tim Velo, floor's yours, my friend.
Yo, thank you, birthday boy. Appreciate that. Let's get the video on here. So good news. Guys, we got a 5-week month. We're going into the 3rd or 4th week, whatever it is. I don't know, but just go out there and just, guys, just keep hammering. The one thing that I will tell, I mean, good news wise, man, I'm glad to be alive, to be quite honest with you. Glad to be in this business, glad to have this opportunity. But, I was talking to another individual last night, and I think the one thing that I got excited about talking to him was, really emphasizing what your goals are, guys. So get your goals down, put them in front of you every day. Look at them before you go to bed, and get serious about this thing. Because, man, I'm telling you guys, this thing just keeps getting better and better. So that's my good news, man. I'm just, just want to give a shout out to Renee Barker. Killer week. Both her and Kevin did a road trip. Good job, guys. I think collectively they wrote around 16,000. So, man, congrats to them, and just keep it going.
Thanks, Tim. Mark, you're up.
Hold on, I'm driving to
we can see
good news. So I have a new recruit just passed her test yesterday. She's super excited about getting started. I have another new recruit testing Wednesday. Jeff Scott is already getting contracted with a few carriers. He told me he's going to run 10 or 15 appointments next week. So that's my good news. Continuing to build staff, continuing to put all the money I make back into the business. So I'm operating like I'm broke. I don't take anything out. I'm not doing anything fun. I'm just rolling the money back in, spending it on things that are going to grow the business, to help new agents, to help us all, everybody on my team be successful. So that's, in a nutshell, my good news. Had a good day yesterday. I need about 5 of those a week to feel satisfied, though.
I'll tell you what, Mark, I know I say it every week and all that. I mean, you're absolutely crushing it. Like you said, you're doing things to build your business. You're constantly recruiting. Your people are recruiting. Your people are coming on that you recruit. They're writing. They're taking their exams. You're doing all that. And congratulations to you, Mark, for hitting 26 weeks in a row. I'll have the numbers out here later today, but congratulations, sir. That's not easy to do. There's always something, family or kids getting out of school or something happening. And the fact that you put the time, the energy, the effort in to building a business and growing out and selling at a high level, it's to be commended. So my hat's off to you, sir. It's a blessing to be to call you a teammate and a business partner for sure. Congratulations.
Oh, one more thing. Happy birthday.
Oh my God, you guys need to stop. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I knew this was going to happen today. I figured it'd be you, Kevin, and Tim, to be honest, but I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Kevin, anything you'd like to add? I think you had a couple of your teammates start to get in the flow. So good news, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely. Talon up in Illinois wrote his first policy. Should have some more in the books. So that's exciting because I know once he sees what he can do here, he'll put more and more business in this direction, for sure. And obviously Destiny and Anthony are getting up and running over here in Florida, so that's good too. Did I miss someone? Is there someone else that wrote that I missed?
No, I just said you got some people in the mix there. So no.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely Talon.
Nice to go with Taylor.
Renee did awesome on that. Awesome on that travel trip. I sucked, but she did really good.
Well, I don't know, and I know that the bar is set so high here, you guys. Kevin, I'm glad you brought that up, and congratulations to your success as well on the travel trip. I think the bar is set so high here that sometimes we beat ourselves up if we're watching some of the messages that some people post. Don't beat yourself up over a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 week. How many people do you guys know, the 14 or 15 of us that are on here, that make $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a week? We hear 10, we hear 15, we hear 20. You just heard Shadi say that he's done 98,000 in the first, 15, 16 days of this month. That guy's on pace to do $200,000 this month. That's insane, but it just shows what's possible, right? Who broke that glass ceiling? Easton Patton, right back in March. Then April, here comes Greg Birch that does 189,000. Just shows what's possible. And somebody will do 200,000 here. I guarantee you this year, because that's just what happens. So, Kevin, my hat's off to you as well. You went out, you left your family for a few days. You made the travel, you made the expenses, you did all that stuff, and you had a solid week as well. So well done to you. And congratulations with Taylor. Mr. Pitts.
Morning. Good morning, everyone. So this month is personal challenge month for myself. Just seeing what I can do. I'm going to put a personal challenge on myself. And just yesterday, I just want to tell everybody, if you put in the energy and the time and all of that stuff, you'll draw good business and good energy towards you. I was out walking yesterday after I did my workout. Just walking. I always walk like a mile and a half when I get done with my workout. That's just through the neighborhood. And as I was walking, I saw three guys. They were up there, and I said, "Hey, how you guys doing?" They were like, "Hey, can you help us push this car?" The car had stopped. Help them push it up the hill. And we got all these hills and mountains here in Georgia. And when they got done, they said, so what do you do? And I told them what I did. And one of the guys was an electrician. He was like, "Well, I'm an electrician. I've been," he said, "and I need to get some life insurance for me and my kids." So me and him have an appointment today. Just out there walking, minding my business, not even looking like I was doing anything. But like I said, when you put in the work, you'll draw all that good energy towards you. So thanks, Corey.
That's beautiful. That's what we're supposed to do, help each other, right? That's awesome,
Exactly.
Gregory. That's a heck of a lot of, that's some good news right there for sure. Any other good news that anyone else would like to share? We don't want to just leave it just to leadership. Jeremiah, anything you'd like to share, or anyone else before we move forward?
I wanted to share something real fast. It wasn't necessarily good news, if that's okay, but I wanted
no, go ahead, Jeremiah.
Yeah, two different things. One was the Colonial Penn deal. I did some research on them a while back, and just so you guys know how they price things is very different than the industry, right? Because normally we say it's $100 a month for 25,000. What Colonial Penn does is it's $9.95 per unit, but they don't tell you what a unit is because it's based on your age at that time. So a 57-year-old's unit is different than a 70-year-old's unit when they get it. So it might be $1,700 for a unit, or it might be $600 for a unit, depending on their age. So the way they kind of entrap people is they say, "Oh, start, you can get whatever, 10,000, 100,000 starting at $9.95 a month." And so people think, "Oh, $9.95, that's the cost for whatever amount that they say." And they don't really understand that unit portion, and it's very confusing. So anytime you hear somebody's got Colonial Penn and they're paying $9.95, $19.90, 20, they only got a couple of units, and their units aren't worth 10,000. Their units are, that was your lady was 59 or whatever, and her unit looked like it was about 1,700. So anybody older than that, their unit's worth less. So just so you know that kind of how they price things, it's very confusing. So if you ever hear it, it's a golden ticket to helping them out. That was one thing I wanted to mention on that. The other thing, I don't know if anybody's used Leadrilla for leads in the past, but they just came out with a new lead source. And I meant to tell you this yesterday, Tim. It's a warm warm transfer lead. So what it is a call center is calling a person who's requested information. They're qualifying that lead, and then they will warm transfer it to you. And you only pay for the lead if you talk to them for more than 60 seconds. They're FEX final expense leads. I haven't done it. It just came out yesterday. It's $50 per lead, only if you talk to them for more than 60 seconds. But it's a warm qualified lead that comes directly to your phone. You're not calling them. So if any of you guys haven't checked that out or used Leadrilla, there's a quick video on it. It's about 5 minutes. You can watch it. Again, it's a little more expensive, but it's basically an appointment setting, fresh lead exclusive to you that you're talking to live right away. So if anybody hasn't looked into that or seen that email, it came out yesterday, check that out.
Jeremiah, fantastic. As usual, still technical. Here's the other thing that I'll add to what Jeremiah is saying with Leadrilla. The other portion of that is when they're actually talking to a live person. And when they talk to that person, they actually say, this person knows that they're on the other line. They know it's life insurance. They straight up ask them the question, "You're looking for life insurance, correct?" And they say, yes. Then they transfer them. They live transfer them to you. So it's not just some, wired connection or talk to a computer. They talk to a person. That person connects them to you. And again, you are only charged. If you guys want that information, send it to me on Slack. I'll forward the email to you as well. I took a look at that and watched that video last night as well. And it looks like, Jeremiah, the setup is just clicks. Literally, you're just going through it is statewide, by the way. You have to be statewide too. So.
And you get to pick your call time too. So let's say you want to do it Monday 9 to 12 and that's it, or whatever you wanted. So you're only picking the times that you want to do it. And if you don't answer, then because I think they send it to anyone who has open things, and the first one to answer gets it. But yeah, it seems to be pretty slick. And like you said, it's live person. They're qualifying them up front, what they want, and then you're talking to them. So
yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Well, since we're on that vein, what I want to bring up too is there's a company called Lumico. I know we just talked about Colonial. I showed you guys that stuff with them. And when you guys hear, for you guys that are new or maybe newer to the industry or maybe new to hearing about Colonial, what a lot of these companies will do, you guys, is what Jeremiah's talking about, the units. Sometimes the units are per $10. Sometimes they are per 1,000, but they adjust, as Jeremiah mentioned, via how old they are, right? The older they are, the higher their rate is. So when you guys hear somebody go, oh, I got the $9.95 plan, people will do that as well. That's what they're talking about because that's what they're advertising. Now, one of the things that I asked to take us even a step further was I asked her why she went with Colonial Penn. Guess what she said? Well, I saw him on TV and I knew that, Alex Trebek used to cover them or used to be their spokesperson. They feel comfortable because it's a spokesperson of somebody they've been watching on TV the last 50 years. That's why they do it. Pretty crazy. Thank you, Jeremiah. Much appreciated. Last thing I'm going to show, and then we'll go through recognition and get to Kevin. Keep us under an hour. Now, don't laugh, you guys, because it's my birthday, so don't laugh, okay? You guys see this drawing? Don't laugh too hard.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a house. Okay.
Glad you pointed that out.
This is a Tesla. Thank you, Elon Musk. This is a cell phone. Guy, I can't even draw a cell phone. If you guys saw my daughter draw, it's ridiculous how I draw, right? And then this is a husband-wife or wife-husband and their 2 children. So check this out. I learned this from Brendan Kitchings, who does a he's the EVP here. Check this out. So what you do with this is when somebody's kind of giving you, saying, hey, I don't need it. And, that's all this other stuff, that kind of some of the objections that we get. So what you do, if you guys aren't like Brad Shearman does, going through the LIFE acronym, this is another way to swing back and do that. But what you do is you draw a house, you draw a car, you draw a cell phone, and you draw their family. If they're husband, wife, and 1 kid, then common sense would tell you just draw 1 kid there, right? Here's the deal. So what you do is, I don't want to say you set them up, but you just ask them, I need you to rank these 1 through 4, 4 being the least important and 1 being the most important. But I need you to tell me the least important first. Okay? So I asked them, what is your car payment? They tell me. What's your cell phone payment a month for your family? They tell me. What's your house payment a month? And they tell me. And you just write them down. Now I need you to rank these 1 through 4, 4 being the least important. Oh, okay. My cell phone and my car are kind of 3 and 4. So I just wrote an arrow, 3 and 4. Okay. And then I push them towards their house. So what's the importance of your house? 2. And I'm saying, yeah, because everybody needs shelter, right? Absolutely. So what's the number 1 thing? And I make them tell me, what's the number 1 thing in your life? Well, my family. Now, keep in mind, this is only after they've told me that, life insurance, yeah, they need it, but all this other stuff. So you're willing to pay $1,200 a month for your house, which we all need shelter, right? $300 for your car, and whatever that number is, a couple hundred or whatever it is, $400 a month for your cell phone, but you won't pay $100 a month to protect your family? Does that make any sense? So my mind was blown when he showed me this. So just kind of another little tip out there for you guys. This might be something else that you can use. And maybe you even write, whoever their beneficiary that they said was when you're going through the home inventory. So just another little tip, something that you can use in the field that help you close more deals. Jeremiah, again, thank you, because you kind of triggered my mind with something else, guys. And I promise, hopefully this is helpful to somebody. Another company that you'll run into is one called, I believe it's called Lumico. Lumico is almost all their benefits are graded. Okay, 25% the first year, and then they kind of go from there. But what they do is they charge let me back up. The way their plans are set up is they're selling term. They don't care if the person's 65, 75, 55, whatever the case. It's all term. So they'll sell somebody a 10-year term policy that's graded, and the people are buying it because of the rate. So if you guys hear Lumico, make sure that your clients understand that that is a graded benefit as well, and they don't have what they think they have. And a couple of people that I've talked to that have had Lumico, they were told, or at least they thought they were told, that it was whole life. So hopefully you guys take that to heart. If you hear Lumico or you hear Colonial Penn, you'll kind of take some of the stuff that you heard myself and Jeremiah speak about this morning. All right. Any other questions or anything else anybody could add? This has been awesome for the first 27 minutes, what we've been able to talk about so far. Anything else there? All right, cool. Let's get into some. Does somebody want to say something? Because I heard somebody moving around.
Yeah, that was me. I just wanted to say real quick that that right there, you know, that kind of helps overcome those objections. People saying I already have coverage, or I don't need to see anybody or anything like that, because people think that they have something, and then when the time comes where their family will need it, that's the wrong time to find out. So this kind of helps us to be able to overcome. I used to work with a young lady when I was with Combine, and she would tell people, say, hey, I'm just in the area, I want to do a free policy review. I just want to look and see so that I'll feel better. So it's not about me making any money, or it's just making sure that you have what you say. Now, if everything that you say that you have is great, I'll walk out the door, won't do anything. But she would say about 70 to 80% of the time, people did not have what they thought they had. So this kind of helps us overcome that objection on people saying, I already got coverage, I'm already covered, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for that, Corey. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And when you guys are in the dial sessions on Mondays and Thursdays, you'll hear people say, you know, you're hearing some of the top people in the country on these other dials, right? And they'll say, well, what do you have? You know, it freezes them for a second. If they say Lumico or they say Colonial Penn, that's exactly the reason why I'm calling. That's perfect. Let me tell you what happened with one of my clients that I just helped protect just this week, right? If you guys don't have a story like that, use the one I just told you. Use the one that Jeremiah just told you. You don't have to have all your own stories. You will get some, I'm telling you, as you go through this. Brian Smigalo just sent me this thing on Ethos. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Ethos. Get a $500,000 policy for your family for $1 a day. Now I'm going to ask you guys, who in the heck can get a $500,000, $500,000 policy for $1 a day? I'd tell you who, a 21-year-old young man or young woman that's never going to buy a $500,000 policy, right? It's silly, but this is what's going on with our consumers. This is a ridiculous part of our industry, right? That's the stuff we need to look for to make sure we're rescuing or helping people with that. All right. Thanks, guys. It's been fantastic. Thanks, Gregory. All right. I'll wake you guys up here a little bit. All right, let's go over the recognition, and then we're going to get over to Kevin. All right, so I don't know why this thing's doing this morning. Okay, so you guys know about our meeting. I think it's a good idea to just continue to remind us week in and week out. I know everybody's busy. On Monday nights, we have a phone training on Monday night, and what we do is kind of slow things down a little bit. You know that those of us that are participating on Mondays and Thursdays, you're hearing people talk about it, but what we do on Mondays is slow it down. We do some role play, make some tweaks and things like that in your phone script to help you set more appointments. And just as, if not more important, help you help more people. On Wednesday, what we do is a recruiting meeting. 8 o'clock, we typically have the same 7 or 8 people on there, but it's amazing. Those people are the ones that are recruiting, building a business. As you guys know here at FFL, you're not forced to recruit. Nobody's going to tell you to recruit, but if you want to build a business, we're here to help you. Guys, you have my word. If you're trying to build a team, I will do every interview that you have, every single last one of them to help you, because you'll get to the point where you get comfortable. But if you want to build a legacy here, we'll help you do it. Of course, we have this meeting Friday, and we've got Kevin fresh off of a travel trip, he and Renee, and he's going to be talking about Foresters. He writes a lot of Foresters, protects a lot of families with it. And then Velocity, we've replaced our Saturday call with Velocity Sunday call because there's more people on there, great content, really solid training and those kind of things for those of us that are new, or just maybe making sure that we're freshening up and keeping things that are, just the basics in front of us. So, excuse me, new agent training, 5 o'clock Central, 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's done on Sundays, and we'll continue to post that out there. Reference to our string program, we have 11 of our teammates that are on strings. Congratulations to Mark Williams, 26 weeks in a row that he's protected a family. You guys can see the list there. The new people that are people that are continuing to string. We've got Renee Barker, you guys. That is our first queen of string. So I'm super excited to get that trophy done for her and get that sent out to her. And then Kevin is back on his string with 2 weeks, again, fresh off a travel trip. So special shout out to Mark Williams for 26 weeks in a row. And I know that string will continue. He's actually out in the field right now. And then congratulations to Renee Barker. We finally have our first queen of string, and I'm very excited about that. I'm at Breaks the Glass Ceiling, and we know there'll be more. So well done. Reference to numbers, last week, you guys know I'm huge into recognition. So we had 16 of our teammates actually insure families last week for a total of 51,240, 53 applications. We got Mr. Shearman at 612, Christy Polsak coming off of vacation at 648. We got Mr. Tyler Keene in Kansas writing his first application at 717. We got Talon up there in the Chicagoland area that's actually on Kevin's team. So well done there, Kevin, at 1884. Joy Richard down there in the Bayou country down there at 2040. Kathy Libra having a very strong week, 2283. Roger Crone, 2343. Jeremy in Michigan, 2409. Trent Moses, 2424, getting back in the action. Mark, 2626 for his 26th week in a row. My main man Walter Spann in the Chicago area. It's a pleasure to work with him at 3864. And then one of our new teammates, Mr. Ramon Santana, guys, this guy was a recruit off of a lead that I sold. And we just started talking about the business. This guy's a police officer here in St. Louis, and he's doing 4318 part-time, learning every day, getting better, messaging me on Slack all the time. He calls every time in the home. He's very coachable, and he's seriously considering in the next couple months leaving his trade as a police officer and coming here full-time. And I'm super excited for that. Kevin Gilbert, very solid travel trip there, even though you don't want to give yourself credit for it. I don't know a whole lot of people that make $5,000 a week. If you do that 4 weeks in a row, that's $20,000 a month. That's over $250,000 of income. I don't know if you guys know this, but only 15.3% of adults in the United States make $100,000 or more. So that's pretty tall cotton. Well done, Kevin. And Tim, 6615, always in the top 3. And Renee, again, working a full-time job and working part-time here, 11,331 on a travel trip with 12 families protected. Fantastic job, you guys there. And our numbers will continue to grow up as we continue to push forward. Congratulations to Mark. Mark, hopefully you're still not in your appointment yet, but $5,000 in a day. Not the first time he's done that, but I wanted to give a huge shout out for Mark. And then Renee, for the first time in her career, her short career here, has crossed over that $10,000 mark, and she'll have a very nice jersey, which those jerseys are coming in, guys, for the people in the 10K club. So congratulations to Renee. Our top 10 so far, with just a few weeks left in July, we'll go over the top 5. And this is issue paid premium so far for the month. Miss Renee Barker, again, part-time, 47, excuse me. Kevin Gilbert, 8661. Mariana Bilo, $9,174. Tim, I'd say she's putting this thing together. You're beating her by a few $100. So I need to send her a message. 9511 for Tim. And then no surprise there, Mr. Mark Williams, $16,833. Guys, he's up $7,000 over last month. So well done for Mark. Here's our numbers, and I'll start to put this information out there more just to kind of keep you guys in the loop, especially those of you that are wanting to build a team. We talk about Americo first, and you can see we put Americo first. Don't forget about the 8% bonus, which I'll show you here in a second. But this shows the grid of where we're placing our business and who we're issuing it with. So I'll make sure you guys start to see this every single week. It'll give you a perspective of where our business is being placed as a team. Personally, I think this is way too many carriers. I think some of us get specialized and start saying, hey, I like this carrier more than the other, which is understandable, but we should obviously make sure we're doing the right job by the client and making sure it's the right company for them, not one that we want to place them with, if you will. You can see from that perspective, Americo is a huge portion of our business. And you can see right behind that is John Hancock and some of the others. So we'll make sure you guys get a look at that. Where our numbers are down a little bit at the 82,000. Again, we got a special program in place, which is still possible. We pay $300,000. We're going to give $1,000. Myself and our leadership team give $1,000 in leads away. And we'll continue to do things like that to help you guys grow your businesses. Just so you guys know this, to keep you guys in the loop, so you're better educated agents, if you will, or teammates. These are the levels for production, and we'll show these every week. This is also posted on Slack. So again, Renee had over $10,000 for the week, even though this is monthly. So that means she is a bronze level producer for the week. Anybody that does 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, you guys can see the levels. I did get a message the other day. Somebody asked me what the difference between IP and AP is. IP is, I don't know if you guys, well, hopefully all of you guys know this, issue paid premium. That means you submitted the business, it got approved by the carrier, and money hit your bank account. That is issue paid. AP is annualized premium. So if you help the family and it was $100 a month, 100 times 12 would be $1,200 of annualized premium. If you don't understand that concept, please reach out to your leadership person or me. I'm happy to go over that with you. Last couple things, you guys, before we get rolling, keep in mind, Americo, you guys saw they're a very large percentage of our business, 8%. I think Mark and 2 or 3 others of our teammates actually got bonuses the last 6 months. They paid this out right before Christmas time. I believe last couple years, is paid out December 15th. Have a really nice Christmas if you had a 10, 15, 20, or 30 or more check come to you. Issue 45,000. So each dollar is considered a credit, if you will, and have a very good persistency with Americo, and they're going to pay you a very large bonus. Last thing that I'll mention before we swing to Kevin, though, if you haven't already, go ahead and get registered for the convention. If you haven't, go ahead and get registered for the convention. I'll make sure I try to post this 2 or 3 times a week. If you guys have never been to Miami, it's fantastic. And if you've never been to an FFL event, you're missing out. It's always top notch. Sean spares no expense for the money that he puts back into these programs. And I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. So February will be here before you know it. Make sure you get set up. Reference to yesterday with the last piece of good news that we'll have. Jeremiah got back in the mix yesterday and protected the family 264. Renee Barker again gets her week started off 589. Again, part-time agent. Kevin Gilbert 686, and then Mark is just had another huge day yesterday, 5,080. That brings our total for a dial day at 6619. Anything anybody else has to add before we swing to Mr. Gilbert for our training today? All right, Kevin, floor is yours, my friend.
Sweet, guys. Can I screen share?
You sure can. Let me give you permission here. Just a second, Kevin.
All right, sweet.
And you are the host.
All righty. Morning, guys. So what am I doing? I haven't done this in a while. We'll do the desktop. There we go. So you guys should now see my desktop, and we'll go to, I'm going to go to the Foresters website. I keep it as a bookmark. So I'm going to talk to you about Plan Right, because for me, it was a saver on that travel trip. Because these guys approve in-home. Now, they may pay a little less commission, but you go to their website, you go to eBiz, and it will take you into your website. I always save my stuff so it's nice and easy. But if you're going on a travel trip, I would highly advise you go into forms and brochures and go ahead and have some paper apps with you, because I was writing paper apps. And I got that advice from Matt, whose name I can't think, Matt's last name I can't think of, but I was speaking to him about some suggestions for a client that had been turned down. And he suggested looking at Foresters Plan Right. They're very, very competitive. They come up way cheaper than a lot of the other carriers if you can get someone preferred. So go into completing the sale, pick up the state. So I was in Alabama. I actually need to print for Florida today. Go into the product. You're going to pull down. You're going to go into whole life. And then you're going to select Plan Right. And hit search. And it's going to pop up right here, application for individual life insurance. Going to go ahead and click on the document name. And it's going to bring up the paper application. Now, these paper applications are super cool because this front page that you can see right here, right on it, it tells you the number to call in. So the way that this works is you go through the health questions with your client, and I'll run through this in a second, actually, the health questions. And once you've done that, had the client sign all the paperwork, you actually call up live in the house to Aptical, and they will go through a very short process. And they will then look at the Medical Information Bureau. They will look at the Milliman script check, and they will give you an approval or denial right there in the house. So on my travel trip, I wrote a guy with Aetna, two trips to his house to do this, and Aetna gave him a straight decline. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna find something for you. He couldn't tell me. He didn't have a clue why Aetna would be declining him. We checked his medications. I mean, we'd done a lot of research. And they declined. They said, look, let's just try Foresters because they'll tell me right now. We wrote the paper app and it sailed straight through for him. So it's a pretty straightforward app. Doesn't have to get a lot of information: first name, last name, street address, social security. You need to verify their photo ID and put the number in here. Foresters, as you know, is a fraternal organization. So if they haven't got a Foresters policy, they're always going to be applying for a membership. Height and weight. And you know this, there's 3 levels of plan. You've got preferred, standard, and basic. And the issue ages are from 50 to 85 for preferred and standard, and 50 to 80 for basic. Basic is basically a return of premium plan, similar to the guaranteed issue, where the first 2 years you get 10% additional to whatever you've paid into the policy. So if someone's paid $1,000 in, they're going to get $1,100 back if they were to pass because of a sickness. So these questions, they have questions pretty standard: resident in a nursing home, skilled nursing facility. You go through these questions with them, and if they answer no to all the questions in the first section, then you know they're eligible for at least a plan. Next section, you go through all the questions, and you guys can go through the questions on your own time. I'm not going to run you through them. But basically, diabetes question. Have you ever been diagnosed with diabetes and been diagnosed with? So it's not just diabetes, they don't really care. It's diabetes and retinopathy, so problems with eyesight, nephropathy, problems with kidney or kidney damage, or neuropathy, nerve damage or numbness. So it's diabetes with complications. Okay. If you answer yes to that, then they're going to fall into the standard rate. Sorry, they're going to fall into the basic rate, I apologize. So they will still be able to qualify, they get a basic rate. If they answer everything on the first section as no, then you know they're going to qualify. If they answer yes on that first section, then the app's done. Then you come into the final questions, and if they can answer no to all the final questions, then they're going to be able to qualify for the preferred rate. If they answer yes to one of the questions in the final 3, in this final set of 3 questions, then they get the standard rate. Now you will need to calculate the rates. You can do that using the app on your phone, or the Foresters Calculator app. But the really cool thing is once you've done this with them, you go in and you select which rate that you're applying for. So the preferred level, the amount of insurance, so the death benefit. If they have qualified for standard or preferred, you are able to add an accidental death rider if you wish to. And then you put the premium amount in. You're then going to go through and you're going to select the payment information. So how they're choosing to pay. The proposed insured is the person that's paying. They're doing it by a pre-authorized check. And the subsequent premium is going to be pre-authorized check. It's going to be monthly. You can request a specific draft date. If you say no, it's basically just going to draft as soon as they approve it, and then draft monthly after that. If you choose yes, then you can choose to draft either on days 1 through 28 of the month, or you can choose the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Wednesday, Monday, whatever the date is that their social security comes in. If you can get a void check, you can actually you can get one and send it in with the application. If you don't able to get one, you just need to check in the routing and the account number. You're going to have the client sign where it says payer. If they have additional life insurance in force, you're going to have to answer those questions. And then depending on the state, you may need an additional form. So if you are replacing something in certain states, or even if you're not, then you may need an additional form. You would have to check and find out how that works for your state. In Florida, we don't. If we're not replacing something, we don't need to list it all out on a separate form. We just need to answer that yes, they have it, and no, we're not replacing it. This section, you only complete if the owner is going to be someone other than the proposed insured. So if Corey was buying insurance for his grandmother, and Corey was going to be the one that owned the policy, then you would have to put the information in here for Corey as well. Beneficiaries, you fill in down here, name, address, date of birth, relationship, percentage. Always got to make sure that percentage of all beneficiaries that are primary beneficiaries equals 100. All beneficiaries, if you have contingent, equal 100. There are some medications out there and that are dual use medications. So if you get good at this and you know there's a particular medication that they have that is used for 2 different things, you will want to list on here. You can list, yes, it is used for 2 different things, but here's what it was prescribed for my patient. So for example, my girlfriend has PCOS. They use metformin. Metformin is traditionally used to treat diabetes. However, that's not the only thing it can be treated. It causes her to get declined by a lot of automatic applications because they see metformin on the scripts and answer no to diabetes, and then they think that you've lied on the application. So, for example, with her, if I was doing this for her, then I would write yes for the metformin, and I would write prescribed for PCOS. That way, when the underwriter looks at it, they're able to see that piece of information. Go through down here, put your information on, etc. And then there is a MIB listing for them to sign the medical information release that they're going to sign. You're also able to leave them a receipt. So you fill in the amount of premium, who the proposed insurer was, you sign it and you date it. That's what you'll leave with them. There's an accelerated death benefit rider that is automatic with the policies if you have preferred or standard rate, and it explains exactly what it is, so that gets left with the client as well. And then you have this page, which is just for you. And this is your producer report. So how long you've known the insured, if you're related, whether you did the interview, if it was in person, did you witness the signatures, did you review the documentation? This is where number 6, a personal health question must be conducted as part of the process. So that's where you call Aptical. When you speak with Aptical, they're going to give you a reference number. This is where you fill in that reference number. Once they've spoken with you, they then put the client on the phone. The nice thing that with this interview is when they have the client on the phone, they don't go back over every single health question with you. What they do is they make sure the client has the application filled out in front of them. They go ahead and they confirm the client's information. They then confirm that the client has the application by asking them to read. There's a little number that's on the bottom of, we'll go back to the first page just to show you. So right here, bottom corner here, they ask for this number to confirm the applicant has that page in front, that has the application in their hand. And then they ask them, okay, can you see the application questions 1 through 6? Yes. Were all the questions in that section marked? Were any of the questions in that section marked yes, or were they all answered no? However they ask it. Yes. Okay. Now for section 2, questions 7 through 12. Did you answer any of the questions in that section? Yes. No. Okay. And finally, for section 13 through 15, were any of those answered yes? No. Okay. Perfect. And then they'll say it'll take a couple of minutes. We're just going to look at your scripts, etc., etc. And then they will come back literally on the phone with you and say, okay, your application has been approved for the preferred level as applied. Or they'll come back and say the application's approved, but it's going to have to be standard. If it comes back as being standard, they have instructions on this final page. And what it says is, upon completion of the phone interview, did the interviewer confirm the eligibility of the certificate type selected? Yes or no. So if they confirmed what you had quoted the person, you can say yes. If it's no, you need to have a new page 5 signed in both sections 13 and 14 as required. And then all you're going to do is you can actually fax this thing through to the two foresters. The numbers actually on the very front here. Where's the fax number?
It's up at the top, Kevin, top of the sheet.
Right at the bottom here, if submitting the application by fax, Forrester's fax number's here. When faxing, did you include a photocopy of the voided check? Now, what's really nice, if you use an iPhone, and I didn't realize this, but someone taught me this the other day, if you open up your notes, you can actually scan documents within notes. When you click on the camera, it asks if you're scanning documents. You can literally scan the document, and then you can go to any of the free fax things online and send a PDF of that straight through to Forrester's. Why I like this is, one, the rates are really, really good. Two, Forrester's is an amazing company. They give some additional things at no additional cost. They have the family health benefit rider, which is basically if someone goes through a weather event and ends up hospitalized, they're able to make, they're able to claim money for the days they're in hospital, ambulance trip and stuff like that. We went through it before. But they also have, they just also have some other things. If you write these for younger people that have kids and both parents were to pass, there's an orphan benefit. So there's all kinds of different things that Forrester's doing. Their pricing is really, really good. And you know you're going to get paid on it. If it's, you know, if you're in the house and you're on a travel trip, and let's say you've taken a travel trip to Nebraska and you write a policy with Aetna and it goes through Aetna and Aetna sends it to underwriting, and then a week and a half later they come back and say, oh, actually, no, we're going to decline this. Well, then you didn't get paid. Whereas if you write the Forrester's app, you know in the house, hey, I'm going to get paid on this. This is going to be good. And you can write up to ages 50 to 80, 35,000, and 81 to 85, 15,000 on the preferred rate. If they drop down to standard, you can write up to 20,000 for up to age 50 to 80, and 10,000, 81 to 85. So they're pretty liberal, the questions as well. And it's just something I'd advise you all to carry in your toolkit. You can do this as an electronic application through through Aptical. I haven't done that myself. And I just, from talking to another rep, they just told me, you know, the paper app was just a lot quicker and easier.
So Kevin, quick question. First of all, very, very detailed. And for those of you guys, I know we don't write a lot of Forresters. I know, Kevin, you do. You write a lot of Forresters. So thank you for doing this training this morning. And guys, just, again, that's why we do these, to give you another, for instance, like if you run into a situation, and you may have mentioned this, Kevin, if you want to go back to the app real quick, Kevin, I wanted to point something out really quickly. Thank you, sir. Okay. I appreciate it. Very quickly. So if you take a look, when the application comes back up, just scan to the bottom of any one of those pages, Kevin. Yeah. As Kevin's pulling this up. Okay. As Kevin's pulling this up really quickly, guys, I want to make sure we're done on time. On the bottom of all of those pages, and sometimes we take this stuff for granted. If you have a couple, yep, that's perfect right there, Kevin. So if you guys, scroll back up to the bottom of one of the pages, if you don't mind. Keep going, keep going. Right there. You can stop right there. That's perfect. You guys see that on the bottom left-hand portion of the page where it says 770559 FL 0719. What that means is this application is sanctioned for the state of Florida. It was last updated.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's
sorry,
right.
My bad.
Yeah. It was last updated 2019 of July. Okay. And then there's the application number. So if you, let's say you work a border state, I'm in Illinois, I live in Missouri, but I work in Illinois as well. If you screw up and you have the Illinois application and you write it in Missouri, they're going to make you redo the app. Trust me, because there's sanctions for each state. So it doesn't sound like a big thing, but people do that stuff all the time. Kevin, you mentioned, faxing applications in. There's an app. I'm obviously not endorsing any one of these apps. Kevin's absolutely correct. I use it all the time. You can actually sign on the iPhone as well when you upload those forms and your notes. But there's an app called Scanner Pro. It's not very expensive. So if you ever need to send anything or email anything from there, it does it in a PDF format, just so you guys know that as well. So if you ever need that. Kevin, the last couple of things is we have a couple minutes left. Again, excellent job of going through the application. What niche would you say, because I know they do some different things because they're a fraternal order. Are there any health conditions or anything specifically that they do better that you would pivot to come from an Americo to a Forrester's in about 30, 45 seconds?
Yeah. So Americo, if you look at complications with diabetes, because diabetes is the big one. Let's see.
I was just like curious if there's any,
Yeah,
I know you use a lot of Forrester's, but why would you pivot there?
Yeah, definitely. I would say, for me, basically, I would do it on price because it's a better price product. But if you look at the diabetes, they don't like insulin shock or diabetic coma amputation. That's all a decline. But you can get someone through with neuropathy or retinopathy or PVD or PAD on the basic plan for them. So
they pretty much standard on diabetes.
So, but I wouldn't go, I wouldn't necessarily go that direction. I would probably go if you had Americo, if you have Transamerica. Transamerica are the best for complications with diabetes because you can get preferred apart from coma or amputation. So if I have diabetic complications, I probably wouldn't go this direction. I would go with Transamerica.
I was just talking specifically to Forrester's, but got it. Kevin, if you don't mind, since you have control, it's not a big deal. Can you go to, because I saw you had our Genesis page pulled up. If you'll pull that up really quickly, I wanted to make sure we covered this today because we only have like a couple minutes left. If you'll scroll, once you get there, you got as many windows open as I do, Kevin.
Yeah, I know a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
Did I have it open?
Or just open a new one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm just opening the Genesis page. It's kind of easier than finding.
Yeah, and if you'll scroll down to the whole life and term grids, it's going to be on the bottom left-hand portion of the screen. Guys, what I'm pointing at here is I get a lot of questions that are very basic. And again, if you need the help, call. But we want to make sure that you guys understand the resources that you have out here. Yeah, just a little bit more further down, Kevin. Yep, right there. Perfect. So you see you don't have to click on them yet, but you got the term life grid and then you've got the final expense grid. So as an example, Kevin, when you get a second, I just wanted to see if you can click on either one of them because they look the same. And I appreciate you driving, by the way. So he's clicking on the final expense grid. Guys, when you're in the house, again, you want to pick up the phone, you want to call. But if you're in a situation, maybe nobody's answering and the Velocity in-home helpline, there's nobody answering. If somebody has, you could just stay right there, Kevin. If somebody has,
talking about for those guys, it's right here, Corey.
Yeah, okay. So diabetes, correct. So you can see there towards the top edge of the screen, Living Promise, Eagle Premier, Vista. Like you can see, obviously Living Promise is Mutual, Eagle Premier is Americo, New Vista is Prosperity, right? But if you see somebody has diabetes complications and all that kinds of stuff, all you got to do is come out here and take a look at this grid. And a lot of times it's going to tell you straight up. So if you can't get a hold of anybody, just take a look at this very quickly. It's on our website. You can save it or do whatever you want to do. But this should help you to start, being able to help yourself in the home if you get in that situation, even though you've got a ton of resources. So Kevin, go ahead and scroll towards the bottom. You're on page 4. I think you should probably page 10, I think. What I want to go to is showing them, because a lot of people don't know this as well. Because when I get phone calls, I make sure people, right there, that's perfect. You also have at the end of the term and the final expense grid, you'll have the amount of coverage they can get, what their age limits are and all that kind of stuff, their height and weight. Go ahead and keep scrolling up, Kevin. Go to page 10, please. And I appreciate it, Kevin. This is Eagle Premier, right? It's going to show you it starts at age 50. It's going to show you that it goes to age 80 if you're a smoker, 85 if you're not, those kind of things. Go ahead and keep going, Kevin. And just as a couple of other quick examples, Prosperity. It tells you what a graded, what a modified is so that you know. It also tells you that, they also take Direct Express. By the way, our Direct Express care providers, if you will, for you guys that are new, Prosperity, Transamerica, AIG, Great Western, those are our only providers right now that take Direct Express. So if you're talking to somebody and you're going through the financial inventory and they tell you that they're on Direct Express, you should find that out way ahead of time when you're doing your financial inventory. Those are the only 4 carriers they take: Transamerica, AIG, Prosperity, and Great Western. So thank you, Kevin, for doing that. Back to you for you to close out.
Guys, if you don't have this printed off and carry it in a folder in your bag to go into their house, you're just setting yourself up for failure. because you're not always going to have someone picking up the phone, and you're potentially going to write business that's never going to fly through. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help the client. It doesn't take a minute, and clients will let you do this while you're in the house. Say, look, give me a second. I just need to check a couple of things, and I've got all those grids right in a folder so I can look, and I can even show the client that, because then you're building a trust with the client that you're there to really help them versus there to help your pocketbook.
Very good. All right, Kevin, if you'll slide the hosting back to me. Another solid job with the training as usual. I know you always want you guys leaders to pick something that you're comfortable with, and you're clearly comfortable with Foresters. Appreciate it. A couple more things, guys, and we'll let you go if leadership doesn't have anything else. Mutual of Omaha. Yeah, if you click participants, find Genesis, and thank you very much. Mutual of Omaha, guys, make sure you're using the POS application. If you use the other two, it's going to go fully underwritten. I've got a lot of new people that are starting to do that. And if you submit that application and it's not the POS application, you might have to redo it. Keep that in mind. The other one,
what do you mean? Yeah. Can you clarify that, Corey?
On Mutual of Omaha, when you go to Mutual of Omaha and you're getting ready to do the application, you put their first name, last name. It asks you how much coverage they want, and then it asks you to select universal, whole life term, all that kind of stuff. When you click on that, it's going to pull up, most of the time, it's 2 or 3 applications that you can complete. Please use the POS application, okay? Because if you use anything other than that, it's going to send them fully underwritten. And if you submit that application and it has to be fully underwritten, they're not going to let you go back and say, can I do the point of service? I've had that happen 3 times this week. 3 times this week, we've had agents call, and I'm like, you're screwed. You're going to have to pivot to someplace else if they don't get approved. So that's why we have these meetings, so you guys know these little things when you're in the home. Another one that I got a couple times this week from some newer teammates, Miracle. The Miracle app was being very weird earlier this week, right? If you're going in through FFL-Go and you're clicking on the stuff and you're hitting Sales Connection, I believe it is, and the application is taking a long time and it keeps erroring, just go to Miracle.com on the top right-hand portion of the screen, click on Sales Connection. It works almost every time. So just in case you run into that headache. All right, anything leadership? Thanks, Kevin. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, one thing I spoke. So as you guys probably know, Aetna has moved its stuff across to Landmark. So once you do an application with Aetna, what happens is Aetna go through all the underwriting piece, but then for actually inputting the data, getting the payments and everything, that's done by Landmark. That transferred on the 28th of June. If you have any policies that are still sat out there that you haven't seen yourself paid on, you may well want to call up Landmark and confirm with them on those policies, because there have been some that slipped through the cracks. I was able to get paid on a couple of policies that were kind of sat in limbo. The Landmark number you're going to want to go through on, if anyone's not got that, is going to be 800-497-6821. That's 800-497-6821. And then you also have another number, which is their customer service number that goes direct into them, which is 800-416-8377. I'll throw those both up into Slack so they're there. But you may want to just double check. And Landmark should now be processing things a lot quicker. The reason it was so slow recently, when they transferred over, Aetna literally dumped 28,000 policies onto them on one day and said, here you go. That's why everything has been so slow with Aetna. They are just about caught up now, and policies should be issuing in real time. So as soon as the underwriting piece is done at Aetna, Landmark say they should be able to issue policies within 24 to 48 hours of them receiving them.
And Aetna's starting to pay daily as well. That happened, I think, on June 28th. I almost forgot to mention, last thing, for those of us that are here in St. Louis, guys, we finally have a freaking office. And this office is absolutely incredible. It was actually last year voted the number one office in all of St. Louis. So we have a connection. We have a connection with someone here in St. Louis that's part of another team. So we're kind of joining forces there. This place is absolutely incredible. I'm going to have pictures. I just emailed them again last night to get some pictures of it. It's in Soulard, for those of you guys that are in St. Louis that know where Soulard is at. It's on the edge of Soulard. That's not so much party, more business. But this place is incredible. Looks like we're going to get, it's 4,828 square feet, but we're probably going to get about 3,500 of the space. That way it's affordable and all that. But the price is absolutely incredible. It has a gym in it. It has a shower in it. It has a virtual golf thing, if you will, that's in it. Plenty of meeting room. We'll have 12 spaces for oversized custom cubes. There's only 3 offices in it. We might build out 2 more offices as we need fit. But this is definitely going to help Genesis and Worldwide and Good Life and transformation, right, Kevin? Team transformation as we all continue to build, help building our brand, if you will. But I'm just stoked. I'm super excited that we're going to be opening up 8 first. We'll probably get Sean, Mike, and Dave, and probably Eric and Todd Hausberger to probably come in. The goal is to have the office badged, everything put together and all that by probably the later part of September, first part of October. So we'll do a grand opening and make a really big deal about it, ribbon cutting and all that. So guys, can't tell you how excited I am. And this is happening based off of the work that you guys are doing, because we have the resources to be able to have this space. You guys will see pictures and stuff like that, real life pictures and videos coming soon. But this place is absolutely incredible. And I look forward for you guys being a part of it. All right. Anything else any leadership would like to go? I apologize, guys. I like to try to start and stop on time. But thank you, guys. This has been great. Everybody that contributed this morning, it's been much appreciated. Eric, you lit up. So.
Yeah, I did. I lit up. First of all, congratulations on the office. I've lost my voice. I've been on so many calls this week. It's ridiculous. My vocal cords are paying the price. But you guys are Genesis as a group is I'm fired up about what you guys have going on. Corey, what's your best week? Or pardon me, your best month. Your best month.
277, 839.
Okay. So right now, I just did the calculations for yesterday, and you guys are tracking 220.
228.
So, which is not your best month. And I want to challenge this group because it's just, pardon me for saying so, but when I saw that number, I'm like, dude, that number's beneath you guys. And so, yeah, it just is. That's not a Genesis number. So my challenge to you guys is you've got 2 more weeks of production to impact July's numbers. And it would be awesome if you guys just set a record and just knocked out SVP while you're at it and did over 300. And so in order for that to happen, you need a cluster of people who will commit to, from now to the end of the month, writing an additional $20,000 of personal premium. And so my question is, I know there's 16 people on this call. Is there anybody on this call who will answer that and say, yeah, I'm in. I'll write an extra 20K from right now, 10K a week personally.
I'm in.
Okay. Mark's in. Anybody else?
I'm going to bust my tail to make it happen, to do my part. Absolutely.
Corey's in. Who else?
I'm in.
That's my boy, Timmy B.
Awesome.
No, he's
Who else?
Well, I'm glad you guys are truth tellers on here. I appreciate that.
I'm in.
It's Jeremiah.
All right, Drobny. Okay, perfect. Who else? We need at least one more. At least.
Renee's not on, and I'm not trying to speak for her, but she messages me on Slack. I guarantee you she'll shoot for that. Guarantee. And she's getting ready to come over here full time too, which is exciting.
Yeah, but we're not going to throw. There you go. Who's that?
Yeah, I'll shoot for that too.
There it is.
Kevin.
I had a horrible dial day, so I've got a real struggle right now. So that's why I was keeping quiet. I literally dialed 8 hours at 2 appointments, man.
I could maybe do 8. Just kidding.
Who is that, Brian?
All right, you got it, Brian.
All right, listen. So with at least 5, we got 6 now that will do it. So that's $120,000 of premium just with the 6 of you. And the reason I point that out is because think of the manpower that you guys have as a team, right? It only takes a few people that are willing to lay it on the line like that to drastically impact your numbers. That would be 6 people doing more than, if you do 300,000, more than a third of your entire monthly business in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
See what I'm saying? So it does not take a lot of effort. It's like little hinges swing big doors, right? Like those 5 or 6 of you that committed to that, I appreciate you. I recognize you. I'm writing your names down. I will be tracking it, you know, and kudos, because your leadership not only will impact Genesis, but it'll also impact Phoenix. It'll impact the tribe. It'll impact Velocity. It'll impact the company. So my encouragement is to take the very next step that you need to take, which is to go on the Slack page, go on the Facebook page, and publicly commit to it, right? I'm putting myself on the line. I'm putting my chips on the table. I'm going for an extra 20K right now. I'm sitting on 24,000. I'll be at 44,000 by the end of it, whatever it is. But when you, and I know there's 1 or 2 of you that just will not do that because you're afraid, and that's okay. I'm not going to judge you, but the 4 or 5 that do it, like, mad respect, because when you do that, when you write that, when you post that to the world, you're basically guaranteeing that that's going to happen. So kudos to all of you guys, man. Corey, I'll give it back to you. That's what I had.
Thanks for being on. We appreciate it. Gregory, I saw you post, so we're in there. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Eric, thanks for being on. I know you got a million places that you're usually at. Thank everybody that contributed, and thank you guys for showing up today. It shows you care, shows you're wanting to build and try to make an impact. Guys, have a fantastic Friday. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Corey. Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, buddy.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, Jester.
Happy birthday, Corey.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, my God, Kevin. I knew you were going to sing. I knew it. I'm like, he's going to sing. He couldn't help himself this morning. You had to get it. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Hey, Kevin.
Have a good one.
Honestly, congratulations on that trip. I know you're beating yourself up, man. I didn't write 5,300 this week. I mean, I'm running around doing all kinds of stuff. So don't beat yourself up for that. The standards are real high here.
That 27 became 600.
I understand.
So
I understand.
I wrote, literally, I changed that before it was even through. So that went down to about 38. So actually, Ramon finished number 3, if you want to let him know that.
No, it's all good. Yeah, thank you. I'll let him know that, because that'll be very encouraging to him. But yeah, I just want to let you know. I know we have these swings with this stuff. We have bad dial days. We have huge dial days. We have great days. Sometimes we go out. I don't know if you know Trevor. Can't remember Trevor's name. I think he's a VP here as well. And had a crappy phone day. This was it was either this week or late last week. Went out and door knocked. He went 7 for 7 and wrote 12 grand. Door knocking. I mean, it's just part of it. It's just trying to keep in that mental structure together. So appreciate you guys. Thanks, Libra.
Right.
Thanks, Madison, for being on. Brian, Stacy, thank you guys very much. Stacy, I'm going to get you for starting that this morning, by the way.
I'm waiting.
Have a good day, guys.